Hey there, listener. Today is Free Ride Friday, so make sure you hang on to the end of the episode so you can hear who won this week's free ride. Every Friday, we give away a lifetime membership to the $100 MBA Training and Community. That's over 180 video lessons, courses, interviews with experts, workbooks, a whole lot more. It's our way to say thank you for being such an amazing listener and subscribing to the show and showing us love on iTunes. If you leave us an iTunes rating and a review, you enter our weekly random draw. So if you haven't left us an iTunes review yet, go ahead and do that right now, and you could be next week's winner. All right, guys, let's jump into today's episode. Hey-o! Welcome to the $100 MBA Show. Whether you're feeling flustered, frustrated, or flat out confused, we're here to help every single day with our daily 10-minute business lessons for the real world. I'm your host, your coach, your teacher, Omar Zenhom. I'm also the co-founder of the $100 MBA, a complete business training and community online. And in today's lesson, you will learn what are the advantages of short-form versus long-form content. Whether you're writing blog posts, creating ebooks, have a video show, have podcasts, you always have that choice of either going short-form or going long form. Why would you do one over the other? Is there a way to do both at the same time? And how can you utilize today's lesson into your content marketing strategy to differentiate yourself and stand out from the crowd? There are many entrepreneurs out there that are defined by their short form or long form content. We get into some of the advantages of both and what to look out for when you're making that decision. Let's get into it, guys. Let's get down to business. Today's episode of the $100 MBA Show is sponsored by Queensboro.com. For over 33 years, savvy entrepreneurs have trusted Queensboro.com for custom logo apparel. Whether they're t-shirts, polo shirts, caps, bags, they got you covered. And best of all, as a listener of the $100 MBA Show, if you go to Queensboro.com/MBA, you'll receive 30% off your first order, plus free logo setup and free shipping. That is so awesome. Plus, they guarantee an amazing fit, quality, and that your order is perfect. And it's all backed by stellar customer service. So go to Queensboro.com/MBA and receive 30% off. As an entrepreneur, at some point, you're going to make the decision to either go long form or short form with your content marketing. For example, Tim Ferriss has become a very successful content marketer, and he prefers long form, and he has reasons for it. If you take a look at his podcast, some of his podcast episodes are an hour and a half, 2 hours long. His blog posts, some of his most popular posts are over 10,000 words. That's like a small book. And even his actual book, The 4-Hour Workweek, it's a large book. It's over 400 pages. He prefers long form, and he sees the advantages to it. We'll talk about that in a moment. But it's not the only way to go. You can also go short form, like this show. This is daily 10-minute business lessons. Our show is not an hour and a half long, it's 10 minutes. But as you can see, when it comes to short form, you got to be more consistent. You got to put more out. And there's a reason for it. There's a reason why we do this. And this is the reason why I prefer the short form for the podcast. But you can also do both. Take a look at somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk. He writes books that are quite long. His podcast or his show, the Ask Gary V show, is about 15 minutes long. So that's short form. His blog posts are not lengthy either. So he mixes up between short form and long form. And we're going to take a look at that example as well. First of all, when it comes to blogging, long form, like we discussed in a previous episode, really indexes well in Google over time. You're adding real content, real valuable content, in-depth content for your audience, and it resonates with people. It's shareable, and it becomes a reference on the internet. Now, Tim shares on his podcast, the reason why he likes long form so much is because it creates his own niche. Not everybody's going to subscribe to long form. Not everybody has the time for it or wants to invest the time into long form, whether it's to read their long blog post or to read a long book or to listen to a 2-hour podcast. So he feels it differentiates him and it carves him out an audience that he would like to cater. He also feels he can go in depth with long form. He can add more value, more complete value. It also means he doesn't have to publish as often. His show is a weekly show. His podcast is a weekly podcast. He's not publishing blog posts every single day. And he publishes a book every few years. This allows him to do other things that he enjoys, whether in life or in business, But it is true, long form does attract certain types of people, people that are serious about their business. And what I mean by serious is that they're willing to invest the time to learn. They're going to dedicate 2 hours to listen to that podcast episode. They're going to dedicate the 3 or 4 days it's going to take them to get through the book. And Tim's all about creating a strong audience, no matter how small. And he actually started out with a small audience, and then he grew in popularity because how strong that audience is. When your audience is strong and they love what you do, they resonate strongly with it, they spread the word, they become evangelists. So that strategy really worked for Tim. And it can work for you if long form is something you like to do. But there are challenges. It's not easy to write a long blog post that's 10,000 words. Do you have enough to say about that topic to write 10,000 words? Are you able to get interesting subjects to interview or to talk on a podcast for over an hour? These are things you're going to have to consider if you go the long form route, but it's definitely a great way to differentiate yourself as well as to index very well, especially when it comes to blogging. Now, short form, what we do at the $100 MBA show, it's not the only thing we do. We do have long blog posts on our blog, and some of our courses inside the $100 MBA, the combined lessons are over an hour and a half. So we do long form, but we've chosen short form with the $100 MBA show because of the content, because of the purpose of the show. For us, the $100 MBA show is a lesson-based podcast. I'm teaching every single day, and I believe that teaching is best learned in short bites. And this just comes from my experience as an educator for over 15 years. One of the things people forget about when it comes to teaching or learning is that it's not just enough to explain something. Retention is very important. People have to remember what you just explained. So if your lesson's too long, it's hard for your student to retain it. And that's why we like to keep our episodes 10, 12, 13 minutes long. We like to get straight to the point and get very specific about a specific topic and make sure that we deliver on it. And this is the reason why short form really works for us, because the format lends to it. Our purpose of the show lends to it. Now, if I was having a discussion podcast, or I'm trying to get out the best out of my guests, it's going to take more than 10 minutes. And that format, a short format, doesn't lend itself very well to an interview or a discussion. So take a look at what you're trying to do with your content. With some of the videos that we have on YouTube that teach, again, it's short form. It's 5-6 minutes. And actually, you could teach a whole lot more with video in 5 minutes than you can with audio because you can use a lot of visuals. But our long-form content in written form works really well for us. Many of the most popular blog posts I have on the $100 MBA are over 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words. Our guide, the Teaching and Presenting Handbook, is around 3,000 words. That's free content that we offer. Even though it's not a blog and it's not getting indexed on Google, it allows me to go a little bit more in depth with that topic, teaching and presenting on a webinar. So obviously you don't need to choose between the two. I just gave you some examples of how we do both. And I mentioned how Gary Vaynerchuk does both as well. But you can also combine the two. Let me tell you what I mean. I mentioned a book in a must-read episode called Brand Against the Machine. And this is a good example of combining the two. That book has over 400 pages. It's a long-form book. It's long-form content. But the chapters are very short. He gives many little lessons on different aspects of branding. Each chapter is about 2 or 3 pages. So in the book, they combine short form with long form. And you could do the same as well. You can have a 4, 5, 6-part series on video. The same thing on podcasting. You can do an email course. We've done this before, and it really works well. Short, consistent nuggets on one topic. Guys, I got more on today's topic, but before that, I got to give love to today's sponsor, ActiveCampaign. Guys, we use ActiveCampaign as our email marketing engine, and we absolutely love it because it's highly, highly intelligent. You see, ActiveCampaign uses marketing automation, and companies using marketing automation see 53% higher conversions than those using traditional email marketing. ActiveCampaign enables you to send intelligence-driven emails based on your customers' actions and behaviors. For example, if they click on a link in your email, you can automatically have them get a different automation of emails. So they actually get the content that they need and they're interested in, which increases your open rates and your engagement with your audience. Don't we all want to have a stronger audience? Plus, ActiveCampaign is built on a beautiful, easy-to-use platform. You don't need to hire a consultant. You don't need anybody to set it up for you. You could set it up yourself. See why thousands are upgrading to more intelligent marketing with ActiveCampaign. Sign up for a free 14-day trial right now. No credit card is required. Go to activecampaign.com/MBA. No training fees, no contracts, and they have pricing for all budgets. But get started immediately for free at activecampaign.com/MBA. Guys, when you choose to go either long form or short form for your content, keep in mind the purpose of the content. What are you trying to do with this piece of content? Are you trying to teach a very specific thing consistently? Or are you trying to go deep and cover a large topic cohesively? Understand that there are advantages to both. And you may just want to choose what you're most comfortable with at the start and just go with that. And then experiment with the opposite. I've done that and it's worked great. I now enjoy doing both and see the advantages of both. All right, guys, that wraps up today's lesson. Just a quick reminder, guys, if you have any questions about building a business, about your own business, you want to ask a specific question, we love to help. And every weekend is Q&A weekends where we answer questions from our listeners. Just email us at contact@100mba.net, or you can send me a tweet on Twitter. BizRepublic is my handle, BIZRepublic. We take all your questions and we get to them every single weekend. Guys, our lesson might be over, but this episode is not. I got to announce this week's Free Ride Friday winner. Let's see who won this week's lifetime membership to the $100 MBA Training and Community. And the winner is JB Kayak 1. Great show, 5 stars. I'm a new listener, and I've been on a $100 MBA listening marathon. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, JB Kayak 1. And congratulations, your mission is to email us at contact@100mba.net so we can hook you up with the free ride to the $100 MBA Training and Community. Guys, we do this every single week. If you want to win a lifetime membership to the $100 MBA, just leave us an iTunes rating and a review, and you can win next week. All right, guys, before I go, I want to leave you with this. Whether you choose short form or long form, you got to remember that the quality of your content is key. Every time you put out some piece of content, every time you put out a blog post or a podcast episode or a video or an infographic or whatever it is, make sure it's the best piece of content you can produce, because you want to make sure that whoever reads it is so compelled by it that it's affected them that they share with others. That's how things go, quote unquote, viral. But the point here is that you just want people to really resonate with it and really learn from it, to actually benefit from it and see you as the authority and continue to read and listen and watch your content. All right, guys, I hope that helps and hope to see you in tomorrow's episode. I'll see you then. Take care.